invite you to come to sit, starting class seated today. In your own personal, unique, beautiful, most comfortable and supported way. And then close your eyes, resting hands onto thighs or laps, wherever they want to rest. Gently swaying elbows, left and right, in and out. And maybe moving a bit, moving from the spine, rolling the shoulders, rolling neck, shifting head side to side, and simply giving yourself a moment to land. So we are moving around to give our body permission to find its true inner alignment. Take a couple of deep inhalations through your nose, and then simply witness the exhalation. Leave your body, witnessing all the way to the end, and then another deep inhalation, expansive, and witnessing the exhale, simply witnessing. Do as many of those as suits you right now, this moment. And when you're ready, let your breath return to its natural flow. See if you can put a smile in your eyes, a smile on your forehead. Really soften eyebrows, soften cheeks. Soften your lips and the tongue, the root of your tongue, the roof of your mouth, throat and neck. And checking into shoulders, often we hold them tight. Let them soften down. Soften your ribs and your shoulder blades downwards and grow a little taller through your center, through your spine. A gentle contraction from pelvic floor upwards, from sit bones, from the root of your spine upwards into crown. And then fill these two opposites with breath. So allow yourself to lengthen and expand with every inhalation. And then as if the inhale flows out of the crown of our head and it flows over our body, every exhale we soften our periphery. We let our shoulders soften, our collarbones soften, especially our shoulder blades. The ribs soften downwards, and every inhale gives us this length, this expansiveness. We witness our breath. We witness our emotional state. Bring your awareness to heart center and notice what's alive in there right now. Become deeply curious. Listen deeply. Watch and observe. Notice thoughts that might be coming and going. And notice sounds that surround you. Start with those close by. And gently expand outwards. Reach a little further. Expand your awareness a little more. Feeling the wind and trees, hearing the sea, the city, cars, whatever arises. Be deeply curious. Keep looking, keep listening, keep expanding. And as you slowly move back to breath, notice if tension has built up in your body. Using your breath to let it soften. Again, letting forehead soften, your eyelids, continue to journey and meander your awareness. And find one thing that really works for you to anchor. Really tapping into your inner being, into this moment. And we let all else go. Remembering that this moment is all that matters. Exploring the depth and richness of this moment. And gently take your gaze down towards mat and flicker your eyes open and see the space in front of you like you've never seen it before. And then interlock your hands right in front of you. Turn your palms outwards and gently stretch your wrists. See if you can point your elbows downwards and slide your outer shoulders, your shoulder blades downwards. And then reaching hands forwards, let's pause here, our arms parallel, and see if you can interlock your fingers a little more tightly and widen the collarbones a little more, and then reach your arms up to sky. And now check, the shoulder blades might have been sliding up, slide them back down. Use your breath. Every inhale growing tall through your spine. With every exhale you soften ribs and shoulder blades downwards. And if you like, you lift your gaze. And continue to lift your sternum and lift your heart. Relax your thighs. Slide your shoulder blades down. If you want, you hinge towards the front sit bones. Continue to lift your navel. Drop your ribs. Reach a little deeper, breathe into it. We might need to make our breath a little more fierce to hold this, but stay with it. Stay and reach. Notice what happens within, what changes. And when we take our gaze forwards, release our hands, palms to facing one another. We exhale our hands through the sides and down. And let's inhale our arms back up. Exhale, slide ribs and shoulders down. Inhale, grow a little taller. Literally feel your pelvic floor lift and squeeze up. With our next exhalation, we'll bring our hands down. Make it a big movement. Allow shoulders to open up. As you inhale, you reach up. And exhale again, sliding down. Inhale, reaching through crown. Right hand comes down this time. We slide it over to the side and just playfully explore into the length of our body. So keep your left sit bone grounded deeply and be willing to play and move around, shifting side to side. Roll your top shoulder forwards and roll your top shoulder back and gazing up at ceiling, not forgetting to open the range of our movement, our vision, moving into peripheral vision. And let's come back to center. Rising up, exhale, soften down, inhale, sitting taller, other hand comes down, reaching over to the side, right sit bone stays grounded deeply, and we soften, we find space, we let our shoulder blades slide around, we move our head, we gaze up at hand, we roll forwards and down, really making space, finding space. Let's lift up through top hand, reaching up. We bring our hands through the sides and find our elbows behind. Rolling shoulders down. Now, reach your elbows down to earth. Feel your collarbones open wide. Lift your navel up and in, and then gently lift your chin to add a little more challenge. Ground your arms onto lower back. And when you lift your chin, don't throw your head back, but just lengthen gently through the chin, lengthen through the neck at the same time. Feel your heart center open up and soften. Slide your shoulder blades down and witness and observe, keeping neck long as if there's two hands holding your back head. Let's take another inhalation for length. Feel your pelvic floor contract. And as you exhale, you fold it forwards. Rest your arms heavy on lower back, so you tilting forwards from the pelvis. Take your inhalation to lift your heart and lift your gaze. Just halfway up.
And exhale to fold. And we release our elbows. We let our hands drop. We let ourselves drop into the space between our knees. Soften out. Notice where there's tension. Guide breath into it. Soften into it. And then draw your chin into chest. Round yourself up to sit. We'll gently lift our knees and just swap our legs. Reaching up tall, hinging forwards and back on our sit bones a couple of times. Making some space into hip joints. Be really intuitive. And we'll come back to center as we inhale. We bring our arms to the sides and up. We exhale our shoulders down and inhale tall through our crown. And this time we twist. Hands come down whichever side. Look over back shoulders. Slide your shoulder blades down. Let's look over front shoulder as well. And lean your head back, lift your sternum. Be really majestic and a bit snobbish here. And then looking over back shoulder again, gently, mindfully turning the head. Coming back to center, inhale here, arms up, exhale, shoulders down. Inhale, grow a little taller. Feel pelvic floor contract, twisting the other way. Hands come down, shoulders slide down, sternum wide and open, mindfully. Turning gaze to look over front shoulder, lean your head back, slide shoulders down, open your heart, really feel into that. Notice if that feels familiar or not. Looking over back shoulder again, and let's come back to center, rising up. Inhale here, exhale, shoulders down, and we flow forwards. We flow over our legs, let our head drop. Gently swaying, finding more and more and more space. Feel yourself become one with your mat, one with gravity. Chin to chest, round yourself up to sit. Lift your knees, step your feet down. Make sure there's enough mat behind you. And then we'll reach our arms forwards. Keep your spine rounded. Point your tailbone away, round into sacrum. And you can hold on to your thighs whenever you want. Rest your feet onto earth, coming up, back onto sit bones. Rolling back again, the fleshy bed, the tailbone, into sacrum. Widen your lower back and maybe coming up again. We want to switch on our navel, so sink your belly button into spine, roll yourself down. This time keeping lower back on mat, reach your arms up and over. Stretch it out, longest spine, chin to chest, armpits open wide. Another inhale here, and we'll roll back up, chin to chest, imprinting your spine into mat. We're giving spine permission to reset, coming up. And we'll do that one more time, rounding down, softening into earth. One vertebra at a time, your feet soft, your legs relaxed, arms up and over. And we'll roll back up, lengthen up. Beautiful. We'll bring our feet in to come onto hands and knees, or in your own perfect way. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips, shins parallel. Inhale to arch. Slide your shoulders back and away. Lift your sit bones. Open your throat without squeezing your neck. Maybe you lift one ear at a time away from shoulders. And then exhale to round it out. Broaden space from tailbone into neck. Inhale to arch and flow in your own pace with your own breath, with the intention of exploring and softening and making space and opening up and tapping a little deeper into your unique being. Notice how there's a sense of heat arising from within as we work with our center, as we move through our core. And then we'll find neutral spine alignment. Just lengthen, longest line from neck into tailbone. Check your hands, maybe shift your weight forwards and side to side a couple of times, gently stretching wrists. If you want, you lift your palms, gently stretching fingers. Allow your body to guide you. Bend your elbows, hug them into hips, and then straighten them out again. Take your gaze slightly forwards as you tuck your hips, as you tuck your toes and lift your hips into your first down dog. Explore here by bending one knee at a time, lifting and spreading toes, dropping them down, rolling the hips, rolling the shoulders, Notice where your head is by default. When I don't pay attention, I always end up staring at my feet, so I guide my gaze forwards. That allows me to open my heart center a little more. Feel your hands reach forwards, feel all your weight move into feet, into heels. Let this pose reset you and open you up. And let's deepen this as we bring our knees down onto mat. We point our toes back, doing a puppy stretch. I quite enjoy this. Coming forwards, keep your hips above your knees. Bring your forehead onto mat. Externally rotate your upper arms so your shoulder blades are sliding apart. And then let your sternum drop to earth. Forehead might be on mat or mouth or chin. Maybe even your sternum. So soften your armpits down to earth. Soften your ribs down to earth. Notice if you're holding tension in your feet, and consciously use your breath. There might be a lot of tension arising around your upper arms, around your upper back. We all have these armors that we've built around our hearts. And with these poses, we soften them out. So notice resistance and breathe loving kindness into it. Breathe a smile into it. Imagine it being ice and it warms up to water, warms up to steam. Find space into your body. Continuously using exhalations to let go. And then sliding hands in slightly, coming up onto hands and knees. We notice the sensations around our shoulders, maybe moving a bit. And when you're ready, tucking the toes again, taking this into down dog. And see if there's a difference now. Really exploring what's happened, what's changed. Lifting your sit bones up really high. Keep rounding your hands, lift your right leg up. And nothing forceful, just a simple little, maybe lifting it up and down a couple of times and witnessing your leg move through space. Lifting sit bones high, spine long, right foot comes down. We'll swap sides and left leg. Foot stays flexed, toes down to earth. Right heel drops, notice where your gaze is, maybe taking it straight down to earth. And left leg down. We'll walk our hands to feet and just open our toes outwards or our heels as well and come to squat. If squatting is comfortable for you, bring your legs nice and wide. Open your legs wide. And sit into it. Bring your elbows, your upper arms to knees and gently sway and move side to side. Feel your heels ground your feet. Sometimes I bounce up and down a bit to move through tension that is really stuck. Opening knees wide, lift your heart, lift your sit bones back and fingertips onto mat for a moment and peel your sit bones up. Peel them up. If you want to use your hands to really poke them up, you might notice you can go deeper into back legs just by making sure your pelvis tilts forwards and then shifting hips side to side. Feel your feet grounding evenly. How about we lift our toes, spread them wide, lifting sit bones high and then coming back down into our squat. Bringing our elbows to inner knees, bringing our hands together and simply being here for a moment. Let your inner thighs soften and open up. Using breath and using gravity. And we'll bring our fingertips back down onto earth, lift our hips halfway, walk our feet hip wide apart. We slide our hands up our feet onto shins, onto thighs. We lift our chest, we roll our shoulders back, we lift our gaze, we lift our heart, and we exhale to fold it forwards. So folding over your legs, knees pointing slightly outwards. Maybe you bend one, straighten the other. Making space, let your head hang, let your spine hang, and have the intention of pouring forwards from the pelvis. And then we bend our knees and round ourselves up to stand, and taking time. Wherever there's tension you come across within your spine, around your spine, pause. And as you come up, open up wide,
Again, maybe an ear at a time, lifts up to sky, soften the shoulders down. And we inhale our arms up above, exhale, soften through our periphery, consciously letting go, and inhale, consciously growing a little taller through our spine, through our inner ankles, getting a strong sense of lift. Taking that into Utkatasana, hugging our knees, cupping our hands onto knees, and just gently resting them there. As we inhale, we arch, and we exhale to round it up. So tailbone and neck move far, far, far away from one another. Navel touches spine, and then inhale, you arch it out. Exploring this range of movements. Notice if the feet suddenly start holding on, or your jaws might contract. Notice the sensations as your shoulder blades slide up and down your back ribs. Notice what position is more familiar for you. And all that without judgment. It's an exploration. Finding your neutral spine, and rise your arms up in line with ears. Longest line from sit bones into fingertips. Inhale here, exhale, folding forward. Lift your sit bones high. Maybe the legs can extend and expand a little more. And from here we look forwards. Let's find our plank. Hands on the shoulders. Feet hip wide. Spreading fingers wide. We drop our knees onto earth. Also nice and wide. Point your toes back. Hug your elbows in. Squeeze your glutes. Point your tailbone. Lift your heart. Lift your chest. Lift your sternum. Feel your shoulder blades slide back, and then lift onto hands and knees. Tuck your toes, find your down dog. And you can pause here anytime, or you come forwards again into plank. Having a pause and a break here, going through your vinyasa. If it's a chaturanga and up dog, you can go there, or if it's a hatha, hands, knees, cobra. Feel free to explore. Finding your way back into down dog. We'll do another 3 of those in your own pace. Linking breath and movement. Being super conscious in your body. Not doing this from the mind, but doing this for the body, in the body. Fully connected with each moment and each breath. Really do what's most nurturing and nourishing for you right now. And when you're done with your 3 rounds, we meet in down dog. We gently shake our head no, we nod our head yes. We embrace this moment, breathe deeply into it. We have a look forwards, lift both heels high, bend your knees. Feel your toes stretch, rest your chest onto thighs. Feel that deep, deep opening. And then land your right foot between your hands. Let's bring our left knee down for a moment, point our left toes back. And gently sway. So releasing the left hip flexors, gently swaying side to side. Fingertips in line with heel. Inhale here to lift the chest. And exhale to gently fold over your extended leg. If your toes want to lift, they can. And move forwards and back another 2 times. We meet with our knee above our knee above our heel. And then we stack our hands onto knee, we rise, our left arm up. Yes, and we sink a little deeper, left arm up, lifting left hip bone, and then bending left elbow, bringing it over right knee. Now, make sure your right knee doesn't collapse inwards. Keep pointing it outwards, press your hands into one another, or your right hand stays on your thigh as you gently twist, as you gently reach a little deeper into left hip flexors. Remember to lift your heart. Remember to lift your head. Remember to breathe deeply. Everything that's tense and tight, guide breath and warmth and loving kindness into it. Embrace what is. Let it be there. And let's come back to center. Keep your hands as they are. Maybe can you bring your right elbow to inner right knee? Okay. Bring your left hand to left hip. Can you open your right knee out to the right and roll your left hip back? You can bring your fingertips down for balance or your elbows resting on the knee. See what works for you. Now, really open your chest to the left, your hip to the left. Opening knees apart while you sink your pelvic floor down to earth. Now, I don't know about you, I want to now grind my teeth and go like, oh! And then I smile and remind myself, no, there's no need. There's no need to add tension to tension. Instead, make love to it, embrace it, enjoy it, be curious. And let's bring our left hand down, right hand to outer right foot. And again, one more time, shifting back, shifting forwards, softening out, tucking back toes, finding our feet preparing to come up into Lunge Warrior. Aligning into our Lunge Warrior, maybe dropping back knee a couple of times. I quite like this opening here. I get quite tight here, so lift and lower, finding space. Lift your heart, rise your arms through the sides and up, sit a little deeper into it, exploring space, and then left hand reaches back, right hand reaches forward. See your right knee above your heel as you come into Warrior 2. And again, exploring, finding your feet, finding pelvis, expanding body. Every day, every practice being different. Reaching into back hand. Straighten front leg for a moment. Reaching into back hand. And bending front knee again. Peek forwards, knee above heel. Left hand drops and right hand rises. And it's not so much, so the most important thing is length. And then you can go a little deeper, but don't compress, keep lower back long. Give yourself permission to explore. So what does it feel like to turn chest towards right knee, or to turn chest away from right knee? Opening up, we make space. We come forward. Let's rest our hand here, our left hand. Reaching forwards, right elbow lands on knee, or maybe inner knee, or maybe hand on mat. And maybe the right leg wants to straighten if our hand is on mat here. And maybe the left arm wants to reach up. Just see where you're at. Keep rolling your thighs away from one another. Lift your navel and lengthen your spine. Let's bend our right knee again and find our way back up into Warrior 2. Bringing our left hand past our hip, we throw our left hip forward, aligning hips. And for a moment, we'll bring our arms out to the sides, interlock our hands. Let's do the unfamiliar way. Roll our shoulders back. Lift our heart up high. Lift your back heel high. Reach your hands to back heel. Let your heart expand. Sink deeper into front knee. Keep lifting back, knee, back heel, lifting heart. Another big spacious breath. As you exhale, you release and let your arms rise. Inhale here, exhale, hands onto earth. Grounding hands. Slowly reaching right leg up and back. And then maybe opening the right hip as you bend your right heel to left outer hip. Or if you want to stay aligned and straight, you can do that. If for you it feels true to maybe roll your left heel down and come into this wild thing shape, why not? Why not? A bit of a celebration, isn't it? Reach and find your way back into down dog. Releasing leg down, resetting, feeling for a moment. Lifting both heels, bending both knees, looking forward. Poke your sit bones up as high as you can. As high as you can. Can you drop your heart towards your knees and really feel your hands reach forward? And from here we find our left foot between our hands. Let's bring our right knee down. Good. Point our right toes back and gently sway side to side, creating so much heat inside that the heater can come off. Knee onto mat and gently swaying. And moving forwards and back a few times like we did on the other side. Notice there's probably a lot more space on this side already.
witnessing, flowing with breath, finding your boundaries and the edges of your comfort zone, and filling all of that with smiles, with love and kindness, patience. Eventually, hands onto knee, we lift ourselves up. Our right hand rises up. Feel how that might intensify the stretch in your right hip as you sink a little deeper, keeping sacrum nice and spacious. Keep your right hip rolling forwards, and then bringing right elbow over left knee. So you might stay here, or you might bring your hands into one another to twist a little deeper. Bring your focus to right hip flexors. So your navel lifts up and your pelvis opens towards earth as you twist. Lean your head back. Notice how tempting it is to round the chest to protect our heart. Lean back, open your chest, open your sternum, slide your shoulder blades away. And center ourselves out. Let's bring left elbow to inner knee. So maybe twisting here, or right hand comes to right hip. I find that really helpful because it opens it a little more. You can use your left elbow to lever your left knee outwards. If you can, bring your fingertips to earth, that's great. And don't forget, it's the last thing to lift your head, lift your heart, lift your gaze. Keep pointing tailbone down and away. Softening pelvis, opening the inner thighs. Go to where you want to grind your teeth and then smile instead. Soften into it instead. Think of that metaphor of ice becoming water, water becoming steam. And we come to center. Right hand comes down, left hand to outer left heel, fingertips light. Ground your back toes under and then find your feet. And check in, make sure you're ready before you lift up into Lunge Warrior. Lengthen up, now turn around. Lengthen up and reach. Your feet hip wide apart. Maybe hands onto hips or they stay where they're at. Drop your back knee a couple of times, opening even further. And then we'll find our arms up above our head. Let's spread our fingers, open our palms, and just move our arms slightly outwards. As if you are a bright light shining. Let your palms be lights, or maybe fireworks. Lift your heart, lift your gaze, and witness what it feels like for you this moment to be so spacious, to expand. Is it comfortable? Is there discomfort? Let it all be there, explore. And then arms up above, right hand sways past the right hip, we open into Warrior 2. And again we explore, we find our way into it. What's in the way? Where am I holding on? Where might I be able to soften a bit? Where might I be able to contract a little to find this stability, this ease in the pose? And then arms come out to the sides. Now reaching into your backhand, just reaching backwards. For a moment we straighten our front foot, lift our navel, bend our front knee again, peek forwards, knee above heel, right hand comes down, slides down to foot and left arm reaches up. Checking in, you're softening through your periphery as you exhale, and you lengthen through your pelvic floor, through your spine with every inhalation. Open wide, externally rotate both thighs. And then coming through center, right hand stays where it is. Roll your shoulders open, let your shoulder rest. Elbow onto knee, this might be enough. Hand down, this might be where you need to be. Soften, lean into your knee, open into your knee. Ground the outside edge of your right leg. Yeah, maybe the leg wants to straighten. And maybe the top arm wants to come up. Every inhalation, expansive. Every exhalation, you soften. Trust your body. Trust this moment. Bending knee again. And we'll find our way up into Warrior 2. Beautiful. We rise our arms up. We point our toes forward. So the outside edges of our feet are parallel.
And then we bring our hands through the sides onto hips. And we just stand powerful for a moment. Slide your shoulders down, grow tall through your crown. Make your legs longer than they've ever been. And simply experience yourself here. This moment as it is. Breathing space into it. Notice if there's inner voices and judgments arising. And breathe. Another inhale here. Let's tilt the pelvis forward. So we're not pushing the hips back. We're keeping our hips in line with feet. We tilt the pelvis forward. Forwards, 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 forwards. Until eventually your hands might drop down to earth. You're welcome to sway from side to side. Maybe lifting chest forwards and up halfway to make even more space, and then leaning deeper into the forward fold. We come halfway up, and how about we walk our hands over to right foot and gently lean towards our right leg. We might be able to grab our right ankle with our left hand, and then use your right hand to lift your right sit bone up a little higher. Shift your weight forwards. Notice your toes. Tilting pelvis. And then releasing, coming through center, left side. Finding length and space. Right hand might grab left ankle. Left hand might remind your sit bones to lift up. And see if you can somehow sink deeper into this. Find a little more edge here. And releasing, coming to center. Bend your knees one at a time. Gently sway your hips side to side. Stay low in your hips as you move from side to side. We center ourselves out. We bring our hands onto hips. We fold a little deeper. Lift our sit bones high. We take an inhalation here as we exhale halfway up. Inhale here for length. And exhale all the way up to stand. Now we point our left toes outwards again. Come back into Warrior 2. Warrior 2 becomes Lunge Warrior. Arms up high. Make sure you find your feet right hip forwards, left hip back. Hands through the sides. Interlock. Reach your hands to back heel. Lift your heart. Point your tailbone. Lift your sternum. Move your thighs away from one another. Imagine your hands want to touch your back heel. Your navel wants to touch your heart. Reach. And release. Rising arms up. Enjoying the lightness in your hands. We bring them down onto earth. We spread our fingers wide. Find our left foot in our downward facing dog. And be playful here. If you want to bend the knee, point it up. If you want to maybe flip your dog into Wild Thing, you might want to do that. See where you're at today. Find your way back into Down Dog. From Down Dog, come into Plank, and maybe straight back into Down Dog, or through one of your vinyasas that would really work for you right now. And from here we all find Child's Pose. Our toes pointing back, our head rests onto mat. Our hands come back in line with feet. Gently sway. Let your joints, let your tendons, let your muscles soften and fall into their natural organic alignment. Witness your body find itself without your mind holding on. Maybe rolling onto the crown of your head here, feeling a bit of weight into head. If you feel inspired to come into headstand, you're welcome to take your next steps either with the elbows and the hands or your hands flat. If you feel inspired to simply stay where you're at, it's just as good. Notice what comes through for you.
our way back down into child's pose. And when you're ready, slowly roll yourself up to sit on heels, place your hands onto thighs, and simply be here for a moment. Eyes open or closed, witness the sensations within you. Witness your body adjusting. Come back to feeling breath and heartbeat. Tune back into the sounds around you in case you're getting stuck in here. Keep playing this dance, the inner awareness, the outer awareness, the inhalation, the exhalation. And when you're ready, bring your hands forwards, find plank. And plank might become down dog, or you might move through your vinyasa first. We find our down dog when we're ready. Gently use this as another resetting down dog. A very humble and surrendering down dog. And then we look forwards, we gaze at our hands and find our feet by our hands to come into another squat. Checking in, maybe the toes on the outside edges of our mat, nice and wide. Elbows to inner knees. Lengthen yourself tall, sway your weight side to side. And bring your arms up above. See if you can hold this pose. Hold this pose from your center. Open your arms to the sides, bring your fingertips down, sit yourself down, bring the soles of your feet together. And if you want to have your back against a wall, just shift around a bit. If you're good where you're at, be where you're at. Hands might stay behind or come onto feet as you gently lift and lower your knees. Like a butterfly. Having the intention of dropping the outer knees into earth. So being very conscious in this movement. At the same time, the crown of your head wants to touch the ceiling, the sky, there's no ceiling, the trees above. So opening up, and then maybe you can hinge onto front sit bones. You might use your hands on your feet to gently tilt your pelvis forwards, open outer knees more, keep your chest wide and open, find a bit of space. And then coming up, keep your right foot where it is and just stretch your left leg out. So your right foot's going to land on the inside of your left thigh, opening the knee out to the side. Both sit bones grounding evenly. We turn our chest towards our left leg. Intention is to align our spine with our left leg, and then we reach towards our left foot, however we do that. And if you're here and that's your maximum, then simply be there. We don't want to add any tension. We want to find space. We want to open up. Use your breath, especially in these forward folds. Breathe spaciously into those parts that are tight. And surrender with every exhalation. Let us slowly find our way up. Bring our hands to bent knee thigh. Or maybe right hand comes onto mat behind you. Or all the way around onto left thigh. And open up. Roll your heart open. Good. Check your left foot, the toes pointing out, the legs still strong. Rolling yourself open. Feel your sternum and chest expand. Feel your front shoulders open. Continue to go deeper into the twist, exploring deeper. And when you're ready, coming back to center. Lifting, bending left leg, straightening out right leg, swapping sides, left foot to inner right thigh. And build it. Build it from your sit bones. Into the length in your legs, into the length in your spine. Turning yourself towards right leg and reaching forward. Let your left foot rest on inner right thigh as you lean forward. You might find, oh, this is so different. Explore that without judgment. Without judgment. Find space to soften. Not resisting what is resisting, but loving it, embracing it, holding it. Kindness, friendliness. See if you can breathe space around it. See if you can breathe it open. Find your way back up. Hands onto left thigh, gently twisting. Maybe left hand onto mat behind. Or left hand comes around to grab hands on the right or your leg. And now it's tempting to round forwards, at least it is for me. But so slide your shoulder blades down, roll your shoulders back, look over back shoulder, checking in with right leg, keep gluing your right knee down towards mat, and then looking over back shoulder again. And wherever there's tightness, that's where you go, and you make space into it. You see if you can reach through it, reach past it. And we release, we come to center. We lift both knees up and make sure we have mat behind us. And then from here with our feet grounded, we round ourselves down onto earth, down onto earth. And halfway down, we roll ourselves back up if we can, if we like. We roll ourselves back down, letting our spine release into earth in its own most natural way. The head comes down, bring your fingertips to head. See if you can make your neck a little longer and consciously place head onto earth. Hands in line with hips, lift your feet up. Now this might be enough for you. If you want to take it further, dip your knees onto forehead or your feet onto mat above you. Coming towards the shoulder stand, coming into plow. If your hands want to interlock, as you wiggle your shoulder blades towards one another, pressing pinky fingers into mat. And think yourself, or breathe yourself spacious. This can feel quite tight. Press your head into mat. Make sure there's space around the chin. Point your tailbone up to ceiling so you're not collapsing. Spacious at any point. If you want, you take it up into shoulder stand from here. Alternatively, sacrum on mat and just your legs above your hips. Point and flex your feet. Circle, roll your ankles. Can you roll your ankles in the most conscious way? Widen your range of movement so that whatever is stuck in the feet, energetic or blood or whatever, it can release, it can move. Notice how sore this can feel, simply to twist and roll the ankles. In your own time, find your way back through plow. Into sacrum on the earth and feet up. Bringing feet down onto mat. Chin to chest. We roll up one more time. We bring our hands back, fingers pointing away. Slide our shoulders back and lift our throat, lift our sternum. Open chest. Draw your elbows in towards one another. Bringing chin back to chest, we come into Shavasana. So see if there's anything else you need on the way. I think we'll go into a twist before we move all the way into Shavasana. So if you want to join me for that, put on some layers. Lift your knees into chest and wiggle to make your lower back and your spine super long. And then we'll drop our knees over to the left. Quite nice to rest left hand onto outer right knee. Let your body settle. Let your right chest, right shoulder blades come down and then turn your gaze to right hand. Keep a distance between collarbones and chin so you're not collapsing, you're opening. No forcing. Every inhale, gently expanding. Every exhale, surrendering into gravity. Simply letting our body melt. Let your right rib cage soften the side of your body. And we'll slowly change sides, knees into chest. You might feel like hugging them in to reset, rebalance. And then arms out to the sides, knees over to the right. Right hand onto outer left knee. Reaching into left hand, the shoulder blades tucked under, turn your gaze. Another inhalation here, we find our center. And from here I invite you to find your Shavasana. Building it from a broad and wide lower back, from a long and expanded spine. Reach your feet out and away, have your heels mat wide. And then your arms out to the sides. Or maybe today hands want to rest on belly, on heart, on hips. Just do what's true for you. Shift around and close your eyes. Take a deep inhalation and witness breath flow out to anchor yourself into stillness. To make the conscious choice to be still here and now. And truly let this moment hold you. What might that mean? Let earth hold you. And let space hold you. And let you hold yourself. Deeply grounded in your inner being, your inner stillness. Witnessing breath flow. Maybe witnessing thoughts flow. And let it all be there. Continue to come back to yourself every time your attention drifts into past or future, into stories, assumptions, expectations. Come back. Come back to being you as you are this moment. Come back to remember that who you truly are is presence. Is a presence of what is going on within and what is going on around. Open and spacious, calm, still, timeless. Find the joy and beauty in exploring the depth and richness of this moment with curiosity. Notice how much is there that we habitually in our busy lives miss. How much wisdom, knowledge, information every moment holds. How much experience is present every moment, which we miss because we're not here. We're stuck in our stories. Find the joy of simply being here. Stretching into a life lived fully. Inquisitive and curious towards all that arises. Knowing that you're spacious enough to hold all of it. Anything, any thought, any emotional shitstorm, there's enough space for all of it. Continue to witness. And remember that this presence is yours no matter where you go. No matter what happens around you. And so I invite you to
Keep the sense of presence as you gently deepen breath, as you gently move into body. Stay connected to that still point within as you roll over onto right hand side. Resting, maybe holding yourself. Staying connected to the presence that you are as you come back up to seated. Finding your sit balance. Feeling your groundedness and foundation as much as you feel your spaciousness. We stack our hands onto heart and simply witness. Witness our heartbeat and our breath. Thoughts and sensations that arise. And let's take a deep inhale, and as we exhale, we breathe it out, gently bow as a gesture of thanking ourselves and one another. As you lift your gaze, you gently flicker your eyes open. You soften your shoulders down, you soften your neck. And I invite you to take this presence into whatever you're going to do next. Continue your yoga practice, don't leave it on your mat. Thank you. It was wonderful to start the day with you. So blessed. Thank you so much.